Hi everybody, my name is Maureen Cotter. It is my absolute honor to serve as the president of Impact100 Marketing, and my joy to welcome all of you to the 6th annual Grant Awards celebration. If you haven't found it yet, today's program is in your swag bag, so take a look in there and you'll find out today's program and everything that we have planned over the next couple of hours. I think you can't hear back there? Can hear, okay, great. So I think you know why we're here today. We are here today to award 3 $100,000 impact grants to innovative nonprofits in Martin County. The electricity in the air is palpable, the buzz has been going on, all the energy is here. It's just the day that we have been working for the last year, literally after last Grant Award celebration. Okay, now they're really called to order. But we are also here today to celebrate you. You, our members and our business sponsors, are the ones who make all this happen. You're the funders for these innovative grants. You are our partners in supporting our mission and making a difference in Martin County. So we are here to celebrate you as well, and couldn't do this without you. So just a big round of applause to you, the members, and all of our team. This has been a big year of transformation for us as a chapter. As you heard from me over the summer and at the kickoff in the fall, we graduated from the incubator that had been so lovingly created for us by the Community Foundation Martin St. Lucie. And they helped us grow to the point where we could become a self-sustaining chapter. And we are now on that path. We filed to become a 501c3 over the summer. Took on the responsibility for the administration of the chapter, and these are big changes for us, especially when you consider that we're a volunteer-run organization, so we will be celebrating our volunteers today for sure. But with these big changes, it was really important that we have a cohesive board, all unified around a strategic plan that had 3 elements in it, and we really kept our eye on the ball on these 3 pieces all throughout the year. I know I've updated you from time to time in my president's letter, in the newsletter, but I just want to report today that we've made tremendous progress on all 3 of those strategic imperatives. First and foremost was to improve the quantity and quality of our grant applications. And you see that as evidenced today with the 5 finalists and the quality of the programs that they're presenting today. Grant making is our North Star, it's everything we do. And that was where we really started and have made tremendous progress. The second was in growing our membership and improving the membership experience. And so Deborah and Ann will talk about that a little bit later. And then the third was to successfully transition to self-administration in the adoption of Neon, which is the platform you see as the member portal, but it's also the platform that we use administratively to pull together all the essential functions of the chapter. It's where we keep track of membership, or where you enroll for events, it's how we handle communications, information on grants, and all of our accounting. So that's been a very successful transition as well, and that's up and running. There is still room to grow, still room to improve. We'll do some strategic planning as a board in the spring, and over the summer, we're going to continue to build the infrastructure that we need to be a self-sustaining chapter. We have a series of bylaws. We're going to be updating those bylaws. Those will be visible to you as members, and we'll be refreshing a lot of our policies and procedures to make sure we're doing everything just right. So we still have a lot of work to do, but we've made really good progress. And I felt like I had to share with you, I had an opportunity recently to visit with Wendy Steele, who started Impact100 some 20 years ago, founding the first chapter in Cincinnati. And she's been watching us. She knows a lot about what we're doing, and she sends her congratulations and her greetings. She's so proud of what we've accomplished. And our chapter, along with all of the other chapters in the global movement, have now granted $123 million in donors. That is only possible when we harness our collective energies. None of this is a one-woman show. You'll hear from lots of different people today who played a role in that, but I recently was reminded of a wonderful African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And with our members, with our sponsors, with the wonderful nonprofits who are innovating all the time in Martin County, I feel the sky's the limit in terms of how far we can go. So thank you for being with us on this journey. with that, I'd like to turn it over to one of our board members, Sue Whittington, who is the chair of a new committee we created this year around business sponsorships, and she's going to take the part of recognizing our sponsors.
Thank you, Maureen. Maureen is one of those people, when she calls, you know that you're going to say yes to something. So this year I said yes to sponsorship. As members, we try to check for $1,100 every year, and it's important that we stay true to our mission of giving away 100% of the $1,000 that we write. And we each give another $100, and that goes to defray some of the expenses. But it doesn't offset all of the administrative expenses. And that's where our very generous sponsors come in. And I'd like to recognize them now. So here's a trick that I learned from Ed Campy. As I call the sponsors' names, I want them to stand and stay standing to be recognized. And I know it's really hard not to do something, so you can do this. One clap after I say their names, okay? So first, starting with our innovative sponsors, the Wong Family Foundation and Nancy Wong. Arthie Hammond team at Keller Williams Realty, Arthie Hammond. Stuart Magazine, Tanya Lorigan. Firefly Public Relations and Marketing, Stacy Ranierian team. And the Harden Family Foundation, Ruth Harden. And I'm here today. Our influencer sponsors, we have Sandhill Cove Retirement Living and Jill Burton. Stay standing. Come on, sponsors. Come on. PNC Private Bank, Tracy Sorzano. Laura Blatchford, Realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty. Valentine Partners, Jennifer Eaton and Genevieve George. Stewart Main Street, Candace Callahan. Patty Downing Interiors, Patty Downing and team. And our advocate sponsors, Seacoast Bank, Karen Emanuel. First Citizens Bank, Lisa Marshall, Sarah Baker. Twinkle's Jewelry and Gifts, Chris Collar. And Susie Romanek with Heliographics. Now we can bust loose and give them all. Seriously, we could not do what we do without them. And I'd also like to give a special thank you to Tyann Bearhoff, who's the brains of the organization behind the sponsorship committee. Please stand. And again, to our sponsors, thank you so much. Your continued support has enhanced our membership experience and brought attention to our mission. If any of you are interested in sponsorship next year at Tyann, I'll be happy to talk to you about it. So now I want you to please join me in welcoming to the stage Stacy Ranieri, who is Chief Illuminator of the Firefly Group. Give Stacy a warm welcome.
Can everyone hear me? Yes. Thank you so much. And it is, I started it off saying, hello, lovely ladies, and you really all do look very, very lovely. So excited to be here. Firefly celebrating 20 years of public relations and marketing services to our clients throughout Florida. And it's just a pleasure to be here. This is such an exciting night, and we're going to be making important decisions that will impact the future of our community. So we're right at the end of Women's History Month, when we honor the strong, brave, and imaginative women who have made their mark on the world. As you already know, women have played a crucial role in shaping our society. They've been at the forefront of social, political, and economic change throughout history. Women have made significant contributions to the fields of science and medicine, literature, and the arts, and they've led movements for justice, human rights, and environmental protection. Some of those names are familiar: Maya Angelou, Jane Austen, Marie Curie, Amelia Earhart, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Katharine Graham, Frida Kahlo, Florence Nightingale, Georgia O'Keeffe, Rosa Parks, Eleanor Roosevelt, Gloria Steinem, and so many more. But we also know much of the significant work that's been accomplished has been achieved collectively. We may not know the individual names of all the women who have held up the sky, as the saying goes, will we see the results of their power to change the face and direction of the communities in which they live. In Martin County, for example, women sparked the establishment of our local library system and preserved the history of our community, from saving Gilbert's Bar Refuge to fostering the Historical Society. They helped enhance health care in our community and founded organizations like the Hibiscus Children's Center. For generations, local women have been instrumental at promoting education and literacy, advancing the arts, preserving the environment, caring for the sick, feeding the hungry, and revitalizing our community. So much of the good that happens in our community is a credit to the boundless determination of women like all of you. Today, the women of Impact100 Martin continue that tradition of collective impact through giving. For those of you who are recurring members of Impact100, it's your philanthropic spirit, your generosity and intellect, your empathy, and your compassion for others that's already changed the lives of thousands of our most vulnerable residents. So thank you to each and every one of you for your commitment to this very special group of women, and congratulations on another outstanding year of impacting Martin County for the better and for the future.
Now I'd like to invite another innovative sponsor, Tanya Lorgan from Stuart Magazine. That was a fascinating speech by her. Let's give her a round. Next, I'd like to invite I'm always nervous when I put her in front of the microphone, but I'd like to ask Arthie Hammond from the Arthie Hammond Real Estate Team to come up and say a few words. She's a new innovative sponsor this year. Let's give her a hand.
Hi, everyone. How excited are we to be here today? I'm Arthie. This is like really tall. I'm Arthie Hammond from the Arthie Hammond team at Keller Williams, and I am a proud founding member of Impact100 Martin. Just to reflect back a little bit on it was a really unusually dreary day in November of 2016. And Ellen Stevenson and I had breakfast at First Watch in Stuart. And Ellen had just recently attended, along with Elizabeth Barbella, the Impact Global Conference in Fort Lauderdale the month previous. What started off as just a casual breakfast between me and Ellen, and she shared this with me and said, "What do you think?" I said, "Let's set a date." And in January of 2017, we set a date, invited, and you were there, Margie. We invited some key movers and shakers of the community, women, and sort of to take a pulse to see, and Linda, and sort of to take a pulse to see, can we do this? And of course, there was no can. It's let's do it. Let's do it. Everybody jumped right in and said, let's do it. So here we are, 6 years later, grown to a tremendous amount. And so please indulge me as I'm looking at the women through the room. If you are a founding member and a first year member, please do stand up for me, if you don't mind. Please stay standing. Second year members. Please stand up, second year members. Please stay standing, third year members. Let's go. Stay standing, fourth year members. Fifth year members. Sixth year members. And this is the power of collective giving right right here. This is the power of collective giving. This is what makes a transformational change. Thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one of you. Please, this is the power. For the first time this year, thanks to membership and thanks to the amazing work of the Grants Committee, we have 5 finalists, and I love you all. With your help and the help of your friends and their friends and their friends, let's get to 500. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to take a moment to recognize all the members of our board of directors. I don't know if you recognize this, but this is like not a ceremonial role. This is a working board. When you sign up to be a chair of a committee, it's a big responsibility. And between the chairs of our committees, who are now members of the board of directors as we're becoming a nonprofit, each one of them recruits a committee that work with them, and we have more than 100 volunteers who serve on one of our committees. That's what it takes to make all of this happen. So let me just take a moment to introduce all of the boards here and ask them to come forward and just all stay up here together as a group, and then we have a little gift for them. So first, Sue Whittington, who you met just a moment ago. As I said, Sue's the chair of the sponsorship committee, which we created this year for the first time, and they're really focused on creating relationships with business owners and leaders in Martin County who share our vision. Next is Ann Barwick and Deborah Johnson. They are the co-chairs of our membership committee, and they're responsible for planning and executing all the different strategies to retain members and help recruit new ones. Deborah Johnson, that's you, and Barwick behind the back. You're here today as a result of their work and the work of their committee. Next is Roseanne Wilcott. She's not with us today. She's in Guatemala with her daughter, but she is responsible for the Membership Engagement Committee. That's the committee that plans all the fun monthly events that allow us to get to know each other better and allow us to see the nonprofits who have been our grant award recipients, so we can see firsthand how our money is being put to use. They just have done a tremendous job along with all the committees. Next is Beth Lanis and Kimberly Rosen. Kimberly, thank you. They are the co-chairs of the events committee. They're responsible for this, and they're responsible for the kickoff. Amazing events. They take year-round activity to plan something this significant, and the kickoff at the Elliott was a huge success, and today is as well, so we're really thrilled to have both of them in this round. Roy Steiger is the chair of our communications committee. So Lori's only responsible for everything related to our brand and our messaging. How about that? Thank you. So that includes our newsletters, our social media, the website, anything that's printed collateral, and she and her committee work in partnership with Firefly Marketing and Public Relations to kind of help tell our story through the community, make it easy for you to stay informed, and take actions like enrolling in events. And then Robin Carpentier and Joan Gibbons, if they can come forward. They co-chair the grants committee, so they've only been busy for the last several months. Participation on this committee is a heavy lift. It requires unique expertise and training in order to conduct the extensive analysis necessary to select our grant finalists. And in a few minutes, I'll describe a little bit more about the nature of their work, which I think is both art and science. And then last, but certainly not least, I'd like to recognize Genevieve George. You all know Jen because she was the previous chair of the executive committee for 2 years, and she agreed to stay on and become our first treasurer. And she also led the implementation of our transition to Neon, the portal I was talking about earlier. So that was a really significant responsibility that Jen has taken on for us. So would you just please join me in giving them a thunderous round of applause? Well, this small gift, and it really is a small token of our appreciation, is the journal, because they needed to take notes for all their committee meetings and board meetings and all those things. But Jen George, our resident artist, personalized them with our star flower. So she painted every one of those with loving care so they would have our star flower on the cover. Isn't that beautiful? So with that, let me turn it over to Ann Barwick and Deborah George, and they're going to tell you a little bit about our membership results for this year and plans for the future.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Well, good afternoon to my amazing Sisters of Impact. I've been honored this year to serve with my membership co-chair, along with my incredible partner in all things good, Ann Barwick. It's really been a remarkable year, and we have each and every one of you to thank. We kicked off this year with an ambitious long-term goal, driving our way to reaching 500 members. And we got an incredible start this year, reaching a new record of 366 members. So congratulations. And let me tell you, we're not taking our foot off the gas. We're not going to slow down, and we're not going to stop until we get there. So our engines are going to stay running, and we are going to await until we reach that 500 finish line next year. I'd like to take just one quick minute to introduce some of the incredible horsepower behind this year's effort. And everybody's been so creative, but I'm just going to ask you all to stand up and recognize this year's membership committee. Sue Kinane, Diane Doltmeyer, Jennifer Eaton. I don't see you all standing. There you go, Sue. Stand up. There you go. Pat Dittmeyers, Melissa Beck, Linda Bolton, and Lisa Goodmaster. Without each of you, we could not have made this possible. Thank you very much. And now I'll turn it over to my partner in good, Ann, who's going to introduce some more of our dynamic pit crew with our community captains.
Thank you. I think many of you here in this room have probably attended a meet and mingle. Maybe that's the way you heard about Impact100. And that's been by far and away the best way we've gotten the word out about Impact100, by having small gatherings in different communities throughout Martin County where people can learn about what we're doing, ask questions, and just learn from other people in their community that have joined Impact100. So we want to recognize the community captains. You're also getting one of these beautiful journals that Jen customized with the logo for you. So we're going to have them out at the reception, so then just Senior Deborah will make sure you get one. All right, so I'm going to read through the list here. I should add too, the community captains have done an amazing amount of work to get it put together in their community, to get the word out, to host parties. Some communities have over 50 members in their community. So if you live in a community that isn't represented on this list, by all means, come talk to me and Deborah, because we will help you get a meet and mingle put together. Okay, just stand when I call your name, please. Lisa Goodmaster, Mariner Sands. Pat Frank, Mariner Sands. Sarah Murphy, Harbor Ridge, Riverbend. Gina Zanke, Harbor Ridge, Riverbend. Kathy Dunn, Piper's Landing. Barbara Joe, Piper's Landing. Jen Eaton, Hildebrand, Downtown Stuart. Karen Rogers, Hildebrand, Downtown Stuart. Jan Costanza, Souls Point. John Kaczynski, Souls Point. Laura Blatchford, Loblolly. Karen Mulligan, Loblolly. Louise Sanborn, Loblolly. Margie Jordan, Willoughby. Susie Spear, Willoughby. Chris Collar, sponsored Meet and Mingle for women-owned businesses. Diane Doltmeyer sponsored the women-owned business community, and Sue Kinane sponsored the Women-Owned Business Community. Shirley Kelly, Sandhill Cove, Bobby Spillman, Sandhill Cove, Sheila Leach, Martin Downs, and Sarah Wattendorf, Indian River Plantation. Thank you all so very much. We appreciate it, and we hope we can continue, to have these meet and mingles throughout the years to get the word out to more people to reach our goal of 500 members.
Thanks, Ann. One of the special membership initiatives this year we launched was called the Evergreen Member. Just as evergreen trees that keep our environment vibrant, whatever the season, an Evergreen Member offers a renewed commitment every year. By knowing the number of returning members we can count on, we're able to be assured of a strong starting lineup and keep our grant pool moving and growing each and every year. This year, I'm excited to say we had 64 Evergreen members sign up, and you'll see them recognized with a ribbon that looks like this, and we are grateful for them. If you have not yet signed up for the Evergreen membership, I encourage you to do so. You can certainly see Ann or I will help you with that. But one of the things that we wanted to do this year in launching this new initiative was to recognize those pioneering women who said yes. And we are excited to say that we are going to draw one of those 64 women for a complimentary membership next year to Impact. That can be for yourself or for a gift to a new Impact member. So, Ann, do we have our fishbowl? She's looking for it. She's looking for it. Okay, we're coming back to it. And then, here it is! We were having Price Cooper's Waterhouse. We were having a making sure everything was okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Who should we have draw this? Let's, yes, because I'm just going to this.
Okay. All right. Eyes are closed. I'm not looking. No, they're not in.
Suzanne Pearson. We also want to mention, if you want to renew today, there's a table out there with a laptop on it that they can renew on the laptop for you, or our fishbowl that we have found now will be out there, and you can drop your check in the fishbowl if you'd like to go ahead and renew today. So thank you very much. We appreciate all your support.
Okay, well, now we're at the podium you've all been waiting for. We get to student here from the grants finalists. But the grants committee asked me just to say a few words about how the process works, because really one of the questions that I get wherever I go to our meetings, and especially when I'm meeting with new members, is how do we go from these grant applications and letters of intent to the finalists and then the opportunity for us to vote. So let me tell you a little bit about that process, and then we'll hear from the finalists. So the grants committee is charged with bringing the strongest projects forward for you, the members, to vote on. And there are more than 20 members of this committee. They take their work very seriously. I sat in on their deliberations this year. It's really quite remarkable what they do. And the Community Foundation, Martin St. Lucie, is our partner in grant making, so they still play an integral role in this, even though they're not responsible for the administration of the chapter. To me, the process is both quantitative and qualitative. So the committee brings a whole set of diverse experiences to their work. As I mentioned earlier, they go through training to use Fountain, the system that we use that allows everyone to do scoring of the letters of intent and application. But then they have their deliberations. They talk about what they've read and they talk about what they know. And the committee also has a mix of members who've been on the grants committee for many years, but also new members who are part of Martin County. So if you have an interest, let us know if you're interested in serving on that or any of our committees. The process starts in the late fall, where the committee goes through training for how to use the software system that I talked about, and it focuses on the criteria and the guidelines that we use for an impactful project, and how to do a proper evaluation of these projects. This year, the Community Foundation also did something new. They held a grants writing workshop with nonprofits to help them improve the quality of the applications that they were writing. So they provided information, more information about the criteria we use, but also tips for how to make it a successful grant. Really well attended, a very successful initiative, and I think we've seen the results of that today. In January, the committee received 23 letters of intent, and the letter of intent is really an initial description that describes the project and its impact on Martin County. Then they go through their scoring system, the quantitative piece, and then they go through their discussions, the qualitative piece. And this year they selected 8 semifinalists who moved forward. Now, when they move forward, they're invited to submit a full application and financial information, and they also then are asked to answer questions that the committee raised in their deliberations. These questions often have to do with community need identified by the organization, the expected outcomes, the metrics that would be used to measure those outcomes, and how the project would be sustained on an ongoing basis after our funding has stopped. The committee also has an honorary member, Arthur Carpentier, who is a CPA, a former auditor. He looks at all of the financial information submitted by the semifinalists and provides an assessment for the committee. So we're really grateful for his support and his volunteerism as well. So then, like the semifinalist process, the finalists go through scoring and then that qualitative discussion where the committee has a thorough and lively debate about who to bring forward, and then they vote. And we see the results of that vote, and what you see in front of you today are the 5 finalists who they selected and for whom you will vote. Now, you've heard the results of the membership committee, 366 members, so that means we have 3 $100,000 impact grants that will be awarded today. And the 2 organizations that don't receive impact grants will split the remaining $66,000. So they will each leave today with $33,000, even if they're not receiving a grant. Our 5 finalists are the Education Foundation of Martin County, Environmental Studies Center, Kiwanis Club of Stuart, the Library Foundation of Martin County, and the Martin County Police and Athletics. In preparation for today's event, you've gotten a couple newsletters from us that included their applications and a summary and a video. I hope you've watched all that and prepared yourself for your vote, but now you're going to hear it from them. Before the event today, they all drew numbers to decide to determine who would present in what order. So for that, I'm going to turn it over to Joan Gibbons. She's going to introduce the 5, and Robin Carpentier is going to be keeping them on their 7-minute time limit. No going over.
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. It's been a great year this year. I have to thank Robin Carpentier, who does a tremendous job. I'm supposedly the co-chair, but I do about this much of the work, and she does like this much. So, Robin, I applaud you. She's awesome. So, congratulations. We're really excited to hear your push sharing your project. So, from the Environmental Studies Center, the Environmental Studies Center Wet Lab Revitalization is the project. Please welcome Valerie Gaynor.
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting us to this incredible event. It's truly an honor to be the Environmental Studies Council, to be an Impact 100 finalist. I'm Valerie Gaynor, the coordinator of the Environmental Studies Center, and I'm here representing the council. The council is our nonprofit that supports the Environmental Studies Center not only with special projects, but also with a teacher's salary every year. So I really want to get a quick feel on the room. How many of you guys have been to the Environmental Studies Center as a student? How many of you guys have brought a student with you on a field trip? How many of you guys have brought a grandchild or gone to camp? Amazing. The Environmental Studies Center has touched so many lives in this room, and we're determined to touch even more. in the future, which means we need your vote today. Our mission is to create environmental awareness with students of Martin County, which will be carried from their home to school and the community. To provide a little bit of background, in case you're unfamiliar with the Environmental Studies Center, we're owned and operated by the Martin County School District. Kindergartners through 7th grade, all kindergartners through 7th grade, visit the Environmental Studies Center each year on a field trip. Now, what is with this field trip? It's a bunch of firsts for a lot of kids. The first time they've ever been on a bus, the first time they've ever been to the beach. We have children in Martin County that live 5 to 10 minutes from the beach and have never been there. We get to give those opportunities to those children. When they walk into the wet lab, we give them their first interaction with a shark. The first interaction is see a seahorse. Our wet lab is kind of the fan favorite of all of our students. So we really are the way of getting first to all those kids. We make everything accessible to students who couldn't get there on their own. In the wet lab, my favorite thing is they all talk about the smell. They're like, it smells like the ocean. A day at the Environmental Studies Center means they get to be a true scientist. They go seining. They do fish collections. It's so exciting. This project will be transformational for our students because when they go seining, their stuff gets brought back to the wet lab and it will be there for everyone to engage with. We serve 13,000 Martin County School District students every year. That's just the students in our schools. Then, in the county, we see over 16,000 altogether. This year marks our 50th anniversary, so we are fully sustainable. What an accomplishment for Martin County. 50 years of learning and growing together, and this little slice of happiness that we call home. For 50 years, our program has not only served Martin County School District, but private schools, charter schools, and yesterday we had 300 people attend our homeschool event. Our council offers open houses, they offer Grandparents' Day, so come on, spring celebration, lecture series, and I invite you to come to each and every one of them with us. Our children for 50 years have been receiving local knowledge and understanding of the importance of the environment. The center inspires the community to be environmentally aware and stewards for Martin County. We've paved the way for many of the young to become the leaders for tomorrow. This has a transformational effect and is the legacy of the Environmental Studies Center. We have been coined the gem of Martin County because it is truly what sets us apart from everywhere else. The ESC makes a lasting impression on all that enter the doors. The wet lab is definitely the fan favorite. I can always tell when the kids come in and there's a horseshoe crab running around on somebody's head, or we've got a sea cucumber being squirted around the room. You hear the giggles, the laughs. These are the experiences that stick in the heads of our students. I bet if I asked you, if you went to Martin County schools, you would say one of the first things that you remember as a child is going on your Environmental Studies Center field trip. So, the council is proposing that we have our wet lab revitalized. And picture it, it's August. It is sweltering hot in our wet lab. We have no air conditioning. With your vote and for the revitalization project, our students will be more comfortable and learning in a better environment. The air condition will support their comfort, but also we can get more diverse animals with our new aquarium. This means that we can have the aquarium upgrades, which will increase our local species we're able to offer, the crustaceans, the reptiles. This will enhance and give our children and the entire community that walks through the doors a meaningful experience. The Revitalization Wet Lab project has some key ingredients, truly has some key ingredients. We have the Environmental Council that's been here for over 40 years supporting us. We have the students and the community of Martin County. I just gotta tell you, this year, our camp sold out in 4 minutes. We are compared to Taylor Swift concert tickets, okay? The school district is fully supported in an endeavor that the school district fully supports our endeavor. We have expertise and tradesmen that will help us through the process. We also have a staff that's fully on board. We want to enhance and design and change the learning process of our students. Lastly, the longevity of the program. This will not touch the lives of students in the community for 1 year. We expect that it will last for another 50 years. So our hope is that we will engage generations. What makes us so special is that the bond that we have together, everyone has access to the Environmental Studies Center and everyone can be part of the story. This project is non-consumable, fully sustainable, and it just needs the startup money to dive in and make an impact in Martin County. Please consider the Environmental Studies Center as a wet lab revitalization project because together we can make an impact for tomorrow. Go guys! PSC, the place to be!
Thank you, Valerie. Next, from the Library Foundation of Martin County, the project is 100 Years of Martin County, Bridging Divisions Through History and Storytelling. Please welcome Richard Riley.
Hello, everybody. There's a good feeling in this room, so it's going to be quite easy for me. So, I'm Richard Riley, and I'm representing the Library Foundation of Martin County. And it's truly an honor to tell you about this project, because it ultimately is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we have. We're coming up to the centennial celebration of Martin County, where we're able to capture some history, some stories from residents who saw that creation. We're very close to that creation. So I'm also grateful to be here because I've seen the impact of the Impact100 projects from Project Lift and the House of Hope, and it's wonderful, added so much wonderful value to the community. So Stacey Ranieri mentioned two organizations already that were in my speech, so thank you for that. The first is the Martin County Library Association was formed by a very similar group of donors. And they started the library system in Martin County before it went to the Board of County Commissioners. That organization changed and became the Friends of the Martin County organization, the Martin County Library System, excuse me. That Friends group created the Library Foundation. And that foundation built the branch library system that we have. They've raised all the capital funds. Of course, they're still here, and their mission has shifted toward literacies. It's building those foundational literacies throughout our community. It includes teaching people how to read. It includes celebrating the love of reading through things like the Summer Reading Program, the Bookmania Festival, it's this weekend, and subject literacies as well. We can talk about financial literacy. Jill Marassa. So, what this project is going to do is take all these various documents throughout the community. We have a wonderful historical society at the Elliott Museum, but a lot of the documents and photographs are in people's homes. They're in Sandy Thurlow's home. They're in the Lockhart's homes. And they're spread out throughout the community. And they're at risk of being lost. And it's not just the documents, it's the stories behind those documents that we need to capture. It's quick and easy to take a photo and transcribe the text on an item, but we need to find out more information behind that item. Is there anything in the photo that we're missing? What's the story of how this landed at your house in this very special place called Martin County? So true to form, this digitization project is foundational. The breadth is huge because what we're building here is a linguistic foundation to categorize all of these different documents and stories, so that when we add something new, like a virtual reality tour of the Port Sewell home, Captain Sewell's house, we can add a 360-degree tour to this system. In addition to anything else that may come along in the future, there's holographic collections as well. So, what what we need to do this is an archivist who can create that structure. It's someone who can connect with those people and collect those stories. So oral histories as well is something that we want to collect from the Black History Initiatives. So there's a lot to do, there's a lot to capture for that Centennial project. And honestly, I'm confident that it's possible. These projects have been done in other counties throughout Florida, in Manatee County. They're exceptionally difficult to start because we need to create this structure where all of these things can fit in, and then it can build up from there. So once captured, we'll present it online. We'll invite the community to add to it so that we can connect the present with the past. And that's really one of the most valuable parts of the project, so that when students see this in schools, local historians can use it, our genealogical societies can use it. It's a digital network that's a place where we can preserve that history before it's lost. And if we do it right, it'll last for decades, it'll last for another 100 years. Thank you.
Next, from the Kiwanis Club of Stuart, with their project of ages 7 through 12 Impact Playground, Callie Flood.
Good afternoon. This is a very different experience than teaching in front of 8-year-olds all day, I have to tell you. My name is Callie Flood, and on behalf of the Kiwanis Club of Stuart, thank you for inviting us to this grant celebration, the final countdown. With me today, I'd like to recognize a few amazing people. An important board member, Susie Hutchinson, our past president, Cher Fisher, and our current president, Virginia Hill. Under their leadership of this 100% volunteer organization, we were awarded the title of Kiwanis Club of the Year in the state of Florida. It was a reasonable competition with 200 clubs. It's a privilege to speak to you and describe a project that affects all children, not only in Martin County, but even beyond our county lines. If you build it, they will come. That is true about all playgrounds. However, this is something extra special about Kiwanis Park, located near our beautiful downtown Stuart. With thoughtful planning over the years, Kiwanis members have devised a plan to create 4 safe and engaging playgrounds in one park. These are geared towards all abilities and ages 1 to 12. Our last and final phase to renovate is geared towards children 7 and older. This overlooked but special age group lacks challenging and thoughtful outdoor space in our area. As adults, we know the balance between academics in school and physical activity is essential for the total development for children in elementary school. More time outside, less time on technology. Outdoor play promotes smiles, laughter, new friendships, and a welcome destination for the whole entire family. In the case of Kiwanis Park, it's been a long-term relationship and partnership with the City of Stuart. This is a big project, which took a number of years to accomplish, and we are now at the point where the completion of our park can be assisted by the Impact100 grant. The addition of the new equipment for 7 to 12-year-olds offers an expanded family experience and enjoyment for children of all ages. The equipment choices carefully made are exciting and impressive. Frankly, I wouldn't mind beaming myself back to a 10-year-old to experience the whole thing. Instead, I enjoy taking my 2 young children, Cooper and Tegan, weekly to play. As an elementary teacher for nearly a decade in Martin County, having been born and raised here with my 2 brothers and my community-minded parents, Dana and Kathy DeWint, I specifically hold a special interest in the success of children's growth, and I can say without hesitation that the Kiwanis Park delivers a special environment which brings families and friends together of all cultures. When you watch these young fathers arriving to the park on Saturday mornings, it brings a satisfying and exhilarating feeling to know that our Martin County families have found a special place. As I look out at you today, I believe that each and every one of you know where the Kiwanis Park is. Have even maybe taken your children or grandchildren there. So, I ask you, next time you're driving down Colorado Avenue towards downtown Stuart, please glance to your right as you close in on Confusion Corner. And remember, this group of 366 Impact members have made a special imprint and impacted the final phase of Kiwanis Park. Thank you for your time and your wonderful generation to our community.
It's getting tough already, right? Okay, from the Education Foundation of Martin County with a project called Career Exploration Labs for Martin Middle Schools, please welcome Lisa Rhodes.
I'm Lisa Rhodes, Executive Director of the Education Foundation of Martin County, and I'm very excited to be here with you today, but I have to admit, I'm a little nervous. Thank you for the opportunity to have us as a finalist. We're excited to be here and share with you what we've got on tap for Martin County's middle schoolers. Let's start with a show of hands. How many of you are familiar with the Education Foundation of Martin County? We want all hands up there next time. Okay? How many of you realize that we're not a typical foundation because we also provide programming? Very good. We not only act as the best conduit for private investment in public education, but we also provide programming in all public schools at no charge to students or teachers. A few of our highly successful programs, and one right off the top you might be aware, PLAYS, Purposeful Language Acquisition Yields Success, which is now in all of our kindergarten classrooms across the Martin County schools. Our Affordable Reading Book Vending Machine program in all elementary and middle schools, as well as our artist residencies, robotics, re-engineering, algebra, and more. These programs wouldn't be possible without the Education Foundation and all of our many supporters. But how do these programs come to be? Well, we identify a problem or an opportunity, we gather stakeholders, including those on the front lines of education. We brainstorm, we create a plan, we raise the funds, and best of all, we make it happen. Most recently, our challenge was to determine how to increase student engagement at the middle school level and set students on a path towards a successful career that allows them to match their aptitude with their interests. So we got together with the school's fabulous coordinator of college and career readiness, our middle school principals, and one dynamic classroom teacher to create an exciting, hands-on, interactive learning program that inspires our middle schoolers to plan for success in high school and beyond. That's right, we're working to bring career exploration labs to Martin's middle schools. By a show of hands, how many of you in middle school knew what you wanted to do when you grew up? 2, 3. I see 3. How many of you even knew the possibilities of what you could be or how to go about getting there? Not too many. Did you know that all middle school students are required to successfully complete a career planning course before being promoted to high school? It's true, but this existing course is primarily reading and worksheets, and this doesn't engage our kids like we could. What if I told you we could solve this challenge? A pilot project at Indiantown Middle School was launched last fall, and students are now engaged in their learning, eager to be in class, and loving exploring the many opportunities that could be and hold ahead of them. No more worksheets. Participating middle schoolers are exploring a variety of careers through authentic, hands-on learning experiences while working in teams to complete a diverse assortment of career cluster modules. These modules engage students in problem-based, real-world technology and hands-on activities as students learn employability skills, discover their interests, and explore career concentrations aligned with high-wage, high-skill, and high-demand occupations. Students are being introduced to careers in engineering and design, manufacturing, healthcare, public safety, environment and ecology, energy and power, veterinary medicine, and so much more. Imagine if you could go back in time to learn how to fly drones and build rockets while studying aerospace engineering. Practice CPR on mannequins if you're an emergency medical technician. Lift fingerprints from a crime scene like a forensic investigator. Put together an engine like an automotive or aircraft mechanic. Learn to draw simulated blood from a prosthetic arm like a nurse or phlebotomist. Or get a glimpse of what it takes to become a speech therapist, a biomedical engineer, a police officer, or an air traffic controller. And what if you could do this when you're in middle school? We propose adding the Career Exploration Lab into the existing career class so all middle school students can do just that. It's 75 hours of hands-on, rigorous, relevant career exploration activities during the required semester-long class. Having the opportunity to embed these labs into the existing course will transform the learning experience. This project will develop youth self-awareness and occupational identity, support academic scheduling in middle school, guide more intentional high schooling scheduling decisions, and increase academic engagement and success. We recently spent time in the pilot project in Indiantown Middle. You might have seen it on the video. And this is what our students were sharing. This is an amazing class. Other schools don't have this opportunity. They are reading articles and doing worksheets. We are getting to do hands-on activities. We're learning way more. This class makes us want to come to school every day. And of course, one student told us that his favorite module was the emergency medical technician, where he got to learn CPR and take vital signs. It was so fun. Then there's Jamie Cleary, the dynamic teacher that I mentioned earlier. He's here with us today. And she told us a story of how this program transformed one of her students. This student was really not interested in learning. She would come in, put her head down on her desk, and have behavior issues. But once this student started the phlebotomy and nursing module in class, she lit up. She blossomed. Other teachers are even commenting about how excited she was that now she has identified that she wants to be an ICU nurse. Jamie was ecstatic to get this opportunity for her kids, and she told us that they absolutely love it. She tells them that they can really do it, and she really believes that they can, and so do we. We talk, the results are amazing. Teachers, students, and parents are all praising the project, and based on this success, we're looking to expand the opportunity to over 300 students annually at 2 additional middle schools for the upcoming school year. That's 600 students per year for years to come. Your investment can make this happen. These labs are all included at purchase and come complete with an online learning management system, all equipment, materials, and supplies. And all consumable costs will be covered by funds generated by the industry certifications at the high schools, and we're using existing teachers to make it happen, so the project is completely sustainable. Together we can make this happen. Your $100,000 investment will allow us to expand the project and transform the learning experience. 600 students a year, this year and for years to come. It's teacher endorsed, it's loved by students, and we have proven results. Together we can make this happen, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Lisa. Our final project is the Mobile PAL from the Martin County Police Athletic League. Please welcome Noel.
Before we start, with your permission, can we take a moment of silence for the families in Nashville? Thank you. Turn on the nightly news. Listen to the radio. Scroll through your social media feeds. It is inevitable. No matter where you get your news or how you choose to inform yourself, it is inevitable that story after story is filled with crime, violence, drugs, and death. You will see offenders, not more than mere children, led away in handcuffs. And you will see mothers of the offenders and mothers of the victim crying in the streets. It is inevitable. Let's be honest. We'd like to think that we're immune to these stories. It can't happen to me. Not in my neighborhood. Not my kids, not in Martin County, but it does. It is inevitable. Each of you has been affected in some way, at some time, by the problem. Everybody in this room knows someone whose life has gotten off track, someone who's made that bad decision with a devastating consequence. At some point or another, each one of us has wrung our hands because there's simply nothing we can do about it. After all, it is inevitable. Ladies and gentlemen, if you hear one thing from me today, this is what I have to say. This is not inevitable. With a clear focus, a plan of action, and an unrelenting will, we can change outcomes. We have saved lives and tax dollars, and with your help, we can impact the community in more ways than you can ever imagine. It is not inevitable. My name is Noel Delval. It's an honor to be here today and speak to a group of like-minded individuals who want to make a difference, just like me. I am the founder, director, and head coach of the Martin County Police Athletic League. I started this organization just 6 years ago, a volunteer looking to provide an outlet for at-risk youth kids to maybe have some fun along the way. What I've learned in these past 6 years, the children I've met, and the tangible impacts I've seen has changed my life. But far more importantly, it has changed the lives of kids we serve. Kids like Sandra. Appointed by the court, like 20% of the kids that come through our doors, Sandra was on the wrong path. We have candid conversations with our kids every day that a single bad decision can change your life forever. And the time she got to us, Sandra had made a lifetime of bad decisions. Dropping out of school, experimenting with drugs, or failing school, experimenting with drugs, and inevitably, so it may seem, heading for a life of hardship or worse. Sandra came to us with an attitude of indifferent hostility. Quite frankly, I was afraid of her when she came to us. First time she's heard that from my mouth. She didn't want us. We were just another box to check off as part of her inevitable slide into the criminal justice system. But here's the thing. It was not inevitable. It took hard work. It took dedication. It took coaches and mentors that showed Sandra they cared about her. Maybe more than she cared about herself. But it worked. Sandra graduated from South Fork High School with a 4.3 GPA. Admission to Indian River State College, where she is a full-time student, while holding down a full-time job at PAL, where she's excelling as our first alumni mentor. Sandra's story is PAL's story, and it's the very reason why I'm here before you today. So what do? How do we trigger this incredible change we see every day at PAL? Well, it's not hard, and it's not overly complicated. We started PAL with boxing first. Evidence shows it teaches discipline and mental health, and mental strength, skills PAL kids need every day. Then we expanded to other offerings that include soccer, wrestling, drumline, our successful career exploration summer camp, and our value-based leadership program. We pair students with mentors, mostly drawn from our local sheriff's department, all committed to making a positive impact in our kids' lives. But the activities, the boxing, the soccer, the drumline, that's not the goal. Sure, we recognize the physical benefits of these sports. They're a good replacement for alcohol, drugs, and bad behavior. But at the end of the day, the sports are a vessel. It gives us an open door into these kids' lives, and it allows us to change their thinking. We use sports, leadership, field trips, and service projects to show these kids they matter, and to teach them while bad decisions can affect their life, so can good ones. At its core, our formula is simple. We value them, we put their growth first, we teach them life skills, and we teach them empathy. And honestly, we teach them to value themselves. We inspire their natural desire to do something great and make a difference in the world. We believe in them by showing them first to make a difference in themselves. That is the lesson we were able to get through Sandra. Thank God. And with your help, we can replicate these achievements many times over. So why are we here today? Because we have an opportunity to expand PAL to a new and exciting way. Because we recognize that we are helping hundreds of kids at our Palm City location, we simply just can't reach all of them with a static location. We have to go where they are. That's why we have designed Mobile Pal. Should your organization grant us these funds, we have immediate plans to retrofit a FedEx delivery truck into a portable PAL facility, packed full of fitness equipment, mentors, and a ton of enthusiasm, and we plan to bring it directly to the kids who need it most. Our Mobile Pal will make stops in Indiantown, Golden Gate, Port Salerno, and we will make sure that none of these kids get left through the cracks. Martin County PAL doesn't have a big budget. We don't have access to tax dollars. We don't have big donors or endowments. We don't have a big staff. But what we do have is a big heart for our community and the kids, especially the forgotten, the overlooked, and the difficult kids. The kids are on the cusp of thinking everyone has given up on them. As you consider your decision today, please help give the children of Martin County the tools, the ability, and the opportunity to live their own life of significance. I promise you won't be sorry.
Pretty soon we're going to start voting, but I'd like to do a couple of things first. Would every member of the Grants Committee who's here tonight stand up? You serve on the Grants Committee, stand up. You all have done a remarkable job giving us 5 fantastic choices. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. I have no idea what's going to happen. And for anybody else who's currently serving as a volunteer on one of our committees, I think the membership committee did a great job of giving a call out to their team. If you serve on any other committee, including one and done, because we're going to start figuring out a way to put you to work, you can just stand up and be recognized for your service on a committee. Any committee. I know I said earlier we have 100 volunteers serving on committees, and that probably makes you think, oh, we don't need more. We need more. Every committee needs more. So I hope during the reception time, if you have an interest in serving on one of the committees or would like to learn a little bit more, ask any one of us as board members to help you, and we'd be happy to tell you what the committees are about. We need you to be a part of this. So now we're going to get ready to vote. We are using the same voting process as last year. It's a combination of live voting, which will start momentarily, and absentee voting, which has already closed. So that's been available to anybody who wasn't able to attend today. And we've asked our treasurer, Genevieve George, to certify the results. She's going to oversee the election and certify our results before we announce them. So she's going to tell you a little bit about how that works.
So 5 years in a row I've been up here, so you guys probably think I'm going to get off. Not having me up here, but here I am again, so I'll keep it really short. All of our members should have received a email to your email. I think we sent it around 2:30 today. It comes from OpaVote. If for some reason you don't get email on your phone, you do not see it, whatever the case may be, we have a table out there that can assist you in making sure that you get that. But we are going to leave the voting open for the next 15 minutes. And then behind the scenes, we'll close that down and we'll tabulate the votes and include our absentee ballots that we received in advance. So, you know, the most important thing here is our grants, and that's what we're here to do. And what's really important to us is that all of our members have a say in where those dollars go. So all of our members, present, not present, have always been given the ability to cast a vote. Certainly, if you have any questions, we have myself, Bridget is here right there, and we have a table out in the lobby. After you've cast your vote, please head out there. We're going to have a nice reception, and then we'll come back together and announce the grant recipients and our merit recipients. So please enjoy yourselves, cast your votes. If you have any questions, just let us know. Thank you.
Thank everyone at the Temple for hosting us today. This is such a marvelous venue. Gosh, I hope we come back. So we'd like to thank Rabbi Matthew Durbin and the Board of Trustees of the temple. And we're getting an echo? We're getting an echo. What can I do to make the echo go away? Okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. I'd also like to thank Lily, Noreen, and Steve from the temple who did all of the heavy lifting, all of our details. Every time we changed our mind, they changed their course as well, and they did a marvelous job. So this has been a lovely, lovely venue. And how did you enjoy the appetizers made by the Fork in the Road program for the Boys and Girls Club? I don't know about you, but I really love that we were supporting another nonprofit and using that program for our culinary arts. That is how we roll at Impact 100 Martin. Okay, so to help me announce the winners, I'm going to invite Nancy Wong to the stage. You all know Nancy. She's a founding member. She was the chair of the executive committee for the first 3 years. She's an innovator, sponsor through the Wong Family Foundation. She's on our advisory board. We listen to everything Nancy has to say. So now she's going to share some wisdom.
The microphone is yours, my friend. Don't you believe a word of that? Anyway, Maureen has thanked everyone that I could think of. We have not thanked her, so I am going to take on the role of thanking her for her leadership. So I'm not really prepared. I know Maureen said, you know, you're a sponsor, you could say something, and maybe you would like to precede the announcement of the grant awards. And I go like, oh, people really want to listen to me then. But I am going to put you in suspense like I am for just a little bit longer. I love coming to Impact 100 events like this. I walk in and I can feel the power in the room. Women empowering women, and it's really great. I hope you feel that too. So I don't normally anymore wear anything that's really Asian American or Chinese, but I decided to do that today with my shirt. And the reason is because I wanted to say a little bit about why I am involved with Impact 100. So I was born in Shanghai, China, and I came over at a very young age. My family was lucky enough to get out from communist China, and so we came to America. Now, some of you may have watched the Oscars this year, and you heard a few of the people talk about the American dream. So in a way, I could say that I identified with that because since coming here, I really believe that my family and I had the American dream. We did work hard, we studied hard, we worked hard. It was not handed to us, but we felt we had a chance, we had an opportunity here in this land. Okay, and so I really believe in giving back and want to provide as much opportunity as possible in ways that I can do that. And one of the things when the idea of Impact 100 came to Martin County, I was really excited about it because I felt that, you know, if we nurtured this organization and we kept on going, we could provide opportunity to the nonprofits in this area to help, you know, with their dream project, with things that they want to do that they haven't been able to do without funding. So this is why I wanted to tell you that. That's why I've been a founding member, why I've been involved, because I really believe in the concept and I really believe that women working together can really help the community. And what we want to do is to provide the opportunities. So having said that, I guess one of the things I want to ask you to do is we've gotten through the sixth year now, really wonderful grant submissions from about 20 to 30 organizations. There are so many organizations in Martin County, many more than I ever knew about. And many of them are not submitting grants. So if you're part or you know of an organization that you think can make an impact and they have a project that they would really like to do but don't have the funding for, help them. Tell them about Impact 100. Introduce them to people in Impact 100 and see whether you can get them to submit a grant next year, okay? We've got wonderful submissions. We'd like to see more. I think we were talking about that. Some of the areas like the arts. I think environmentally, the first couple of years, we didn't really have many, but now we do. We are lacking in arts grants. And that might be an area where, if you know of someone in that area, you could get them to think about or talk to an impact member about submitting a grant. Okay, so that's your assignment for this coming year. Okay, so I was supposed to toast, so I'm going to do an imaginary toast. I want to thank all of the nonprofits in Martin County, and I want to congratulate all the people, all the organizations that submitted grants this year, and especially the 5 finalists. So, without further ado,
thank you. Yeah, of course you can stay up here. You can do whatever you want. You're Nancy Wong. Okay, here we are at the moment of truth. So I'm going to just remind you that in 6 years, this group of amazing women has granted $1.4 million into Martin County. $1.4 million on the money. So member number 366 this year, I forget who you are, you got us to $1.4 million on the button. Thank you, because I didn't want to have to say $1,399,000. Right, so that was awesome. All right, Genevieve, George, do you certify that this is a fair election and these are the proper results and members have voted? You sure do. Okay. So I would like to invite the 5 nonprofits to come to the stage. We're going to announce the awards. Everybody gets a check. Some of them are for $100,000. Some are for $33,000, but you're all getting a nice check. So everybody come up on stage. And could I ask our board members to come forward as well, because we'd like all the board members to be involved in the photos, as well as Nancy. No, you can stay. Genevieve is a past president. She's going to come forward, current board member. Come on. Everybody get up. Let's get the whole posse going. These people want to know the results. We're all winners. Exactly. You're all winners. You're all winners. Board members coming up. Impact board members. Thank you. Yeah, not the board members of the nonprofits. Sorry. Whoopsie. Thank you for that clarification, John. Impact board members. All right. The recipients of the 2023 $100,000 impact grants are the Education Foundation of Martin County. Lisa's going to cry. Okay. The Environmental Studies Center Council. And the Martin County Police Athletic League. Wow. Congratulations. You're all winners in our books. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for coming. Continue to enjoy yourselves. We're going to get some photos up here. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful 6th season.